Thank you for clicking play on the video. I'd like to ask you to click the thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell so that you can get alerted every time we bring out great content. Thanks. Hey YouTube comic community, this is Jimmy the Geek Aficionado, and I have a massive manga-fueled haul. So everybody's aware, I don't actually buy manga books, right? Like, you know, the One Punch Man, books of that nature. What I'm talking about are actually comic books that were adaptations of actual manga from the 70s and 80s, right? I'm still trying to knock out a full run of Akira. I've got the last 2 issues to find on that. I've gotten the full run of Lone Wolf and Cub. But one of the ones from my childhood that's really been kind of escaping me has been the Robotech stuff, right? I've been trying to, clean that out. Now, I did get, beginning of the year, I was at C2E2. I got Macross #1, which is the actual first issue of the Robotech, the Macross Saga series, right? And the reason why it was titled differently is because they were actually calling it Super Dimensional Fortress Macross in the original cartoon. But as a toy line had come out at the same time, right, that they had to kind of cross things up, so that they avoid confusion and get everything onto the same plane for marketing purposes and such, and brand recognition. So hence was born Robotech. And I'm still missing issue #2. I'm actually only missing 2 issues out of this run now, but I'm still missing issue #2, but I've got issue #3. And this follows the original storyline from the actual Robotech TV show. It's issue 4. They're boiling a fish head. That's a big fish head. Here's a great cover for issue #5 showing the Macross fortress. Here's issue 6 with one of the transforming mechanized fighter jets. I don't know what it was that kind of caught my eye back in the 80s with Robotech. No idea what it was, but it was fun. I love Voltron, right? That was always a big one. And I got into, Macross as well. It was a fantastic story. Not just, it had remnants of, space and fighters and aliens fighting and stuff, but it also featured Lin Min-mei, who was a singer, and her role in it, being the love interest and such of some of the fighters, kind of made it a bit more appealing to some degree, right? It added another layer to it, especially the fact that you're fighting the Zentradi, which are these giant monsters, and all these little earthers that are all so tiny and puny. And did I mention I got these from my LCS, Jay's Comics? I did, and I got them all for $1, if you can believe that, right? So every one of these is $1 each. It's issue 13, issue 14, with our fearless captain on the cover. And you'll notice it says, as seen on TV, right? Now, the funny thing about this is that these books got released in America in 1985. But the original series, I want to say, was created in the earlier 80s, issue 16, 17. It's kind of like a photo-looking cover. It's pretty cool. A lot of airbrush work there. In issue 18, and he's actually one of my favorites. It's Roy. I cannot remember his last name. It's been a long time since I've watched these, but I actually got all of the videos originally. well, not originally. I got these videos as part of a pack. It's issue 20. A pack that featured, like the entire run. The Macross one being the first one, the longest running one. And the cool thing is that each one of those box sets, I got these from Best Buy, came with a little fighter in there. And I kept those for a while, and they just kind of gotten, handled by my kids and dropped off of shelves after a while and just kind of, a little bit broken. But I think I still got them around somewhere. This is issue 24. This original run featured, I want to say it's 36 issues. Let's see, we got, 36 issues. Here's issue 25. Issue 26. This is a cool one. Issue 27 with the fortress above the earth and the Zentradi in the background. A lot of space fight going on. That's what that looks like. That's a burst of fighter fire. Pull that down. Here's issue 28 and 29. Little street fight going on. Somebody's not happy. Here's issue 30, a little green alien baby. Oh yeah, here's a good one. So issue 31, this is a street fight between a mech and a Zentradi fighter. And here's to kind of show you the scope. Like, so the Zentradi fighters actually have, people in the suit, so they're actually a lot larger. And this is the difference between the size of a Zentradi warrior and an actual human. It's issue 33. So we're coming up on the end of the series. And like I said, this kind of retells the story from the actual TV show. So issue 34. 35. Hey, now I've got a Christmas issue for Comigories. And 36. This is the final issue. So that's the Macross Saga series as it was laid out by Comico in 1985. Now, here's where I was going with that. What's funny is that they released not just that one, but they released all of the series, all three series together around the same time. These all were released in 1985. So following the Macross Saga, you had Robotech Masters. So this is issue 1. Now this centers around this character here in the center. She's a I want to say it's like a tank platoon captain. And they go through and, like they're fighting battles and they're getting caught and there's a whole lot of drama and all that stuff. But it's a central female character, whereas the original story was a central male character, or a couple of them actually. And then you had Lin Minmay as kind of a backup. So this occurs after the original story from the Macross Saga. I got most of the Masters series. I'm still missing about 8 books from it. It's only a 23 issue run, whereas the Macross Saga was a 36 issue run. It's issue 6. And I'm digging being able to have these, right? Because I want to be able to read through them and then, go back and watch the TV show and see, the kind of differences that they had between the show and the retelling from the book. One of the interesting things about the Masters one, and this was one like I didn't even realize. So I watched the Macross Saga originally with my daughter, who's 19 now, but she was, I want to say 8 at the time when I got these. We were still living in Las Vegas at the time. And I started watching the Robotech, show with her. She was very interested. She's still very interested in manga to this day, more so than I am. She likes the actual, the new stuff. I'm a bigger fan of the old things like Robotech and Fist of the North Star and Akira and such. But so we finished watching the first one, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I threw in the second one when she wasn't, there. Just kind of had it on my office. And what do I find? They start showing shower scenes with the central character with his internal monologue. She's just in the shower, right? And it's like showing. And that's the difference between Japanese cartoons and American cartoons, is that they have, you would think that they had a little bit more discretion, but actually in some cases they don't. So I was like, okay, so I guess we're going to stop watching this show here, and I won't be showing her the next adventure, but she can obviously watch it now, so it's less of a concern. But I'll be interested to see if they carry that into the comics, since none of these have comic code or anything like that on them, right? And they're just the Kamiko with the Japanese animation art. So last one from the Robotech series is the new generation, right? So this fast forwards a little bit, and it follows a couple of kids that are on these bikes that kind of convert into like backpacks or something like that. Oh no, they convert into these warriors. There we go. So you get those little mech warrior. Now you got a tire on top of your, on your back. Really reminds me a lot of the Transformers stuff from my childhood. This is issue number 3. This again, only a 23 issue run, missing probably half of them for this particular series. But I'm not too worried. I do know where I can get them from. There's another LCS around here that's got them for cheap. That I'll be able to pick up the rest of them. As you can see, the art starts degrading a little bit, even in the covers. I don't know if they had just different crews on them, but they just weren't quite the same, up to the same quality as Masters and specifically Macross Saga. Here's issue 11 and 12. And like I said, this is a 23 issue run, and I don't have the rest of them, but I'll get them eventually and be able to finish that off and then be able to read through them and again do the comparisons. Last one I've got here. So after the Kamiko runs came out, they switched over to Eternity, which was a division of Malibu, which I believe either was bought out by Marvel or was a division of Marvel at one point. This isn't Robotech, but this is similar kind of source material. This is Captain Harlock, and I got these from Barbarian Kung Fu. We finished, he did an auction. I bought a couple of things. He's like, hey, anything else you want? And I'm like, hey, what do you got? And I was looking to finish off some of the Usagi Yojimbo stuff. He didn't have that, but he's like, hey, well, I've got these. And I was like, sweet. And he had the whole run of 13 books. So this is issue 2, issue 3. And Captain Harlock, he's a space pirate, right? So he's kind of like Corsair from the X-Men, except, it's more Macross style. It's manga. And again, manga not as in the written, style of Japanese, comic art form, but adaptations from actual Japanese animation itself. Some interesting ones. He gets turned into a girl for a little bit. And then back. So there's some funky stuff, but like I said, I'm glad to have been able to pick up the run and see it and get it and be able to read it, because I watched a lot of these. Like if you look at the way the art style is done, right, that guy looks a lot like the people you'd see like in Voltron. For guys my age, Voltron, Transformers, that was the stuff. That was our childhood. So I like having these books from my childhood that I can go back and read and just kind of reminisce, You know, because who's got time to watch 16 seasons of something? And here's the final issue, number 13. And that's it for my video, my massive manga haul. Thanks everybody for click and play on the video. Click the like button if you liked it. Click subscribe if you want to see more content. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.